Maybe.
Alright, here we go. Coming up on ECG, Free Comic Book Day.
More Marvel misgivings.
Blade Runner 2049 teaser trailer.
The injustice of DLC.
All this and more coming up on the East Coast Geek podcast. Hey. Let me do this the right way. What's going on with my music? Holy crap.
There you go.
Welcome to the Blunder of the Day, and welcome to episode 98 of the East Coast Geek podcast for Sunday, May 7th, 2017, where we bring you all the latest news on comics, movies, and gaming. I'm your host, Jeremy, and with me, as always, is Opu. How you doing, bud?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Happy late Free Comic Book Day.
Yay, yeah, we posted it on the site so everybody know to at least go out and get their stuff, even though we weren't going to be here. Yeah, it was an awesome day. Went out and hit a couple of comic book shops, bought a couple of things, including my neat little Daredevil version of Punisher Buddy here. So,
what have they made the prison scene one where he's bloody?
No, that would be awesome.
You can make one of that.
The only ones that were in there was I think it's Daredevil himself in his newer costume, Punisher, and then Elodie Young's Elektra. They're neat looking, but this is the one I really wanted. What I really wanted to go get was the Diva Funko Pop figure from Overwatch. It's the big mech and the little Diva that goes inside.
Oh, that would be cool.
The only problem was it was $25, and I was like, well, the wife's not going to let me get this, so I might as well just forget about it. So I found that instead, and I was like, yeah, I need this for my desk. That'll be perfect.
Yeah, it's a compromise, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was only $10 as opposed to $25. Expensive habits, but yeah, I got myself a couple of good comics here. One of them I have a question about, though. I don't know if you got this one.
I didn't get the Buffy one.
It's Buffy, and it's the high school years. I thought that's what Buffy was about.
Right. I watched. Didn't they graduate? Hey Perry, how you doing? Happy late Free Comic Book Day. Didn't she eventually graduate from?
She did, but the movie and the TV show encompassed her high school years. So I don't know. I guess they're just rewriting the history of the Buffy character in comics.
Here's the thing: when they go back and do something like that, they're not showing every single day of her life, so they just showed like the big story arcs, just how you can compromise on that. However, they very well could be rewriting it. And here's the other thing: Buffy, after it got canceled or ended on TV, it continued on
in the comics.
In comic books, yes. I think season 6 or 7 was the comic book.
Right. Yeah, I do remember that, and that was a big thing too. Was the continuation.
Show her in college. Thank you, Perry.
Yeah, they did show her in college. Yeah, the whole initiative thing happened during college. So, and then I got this one. I'm sure you got that one though. Attack on Titan.
No, I didn't get that.
You didn't get that one? I think we have a couple of those. I don't know. We'll see. Your favorite show?
We're doing good so far. Actually, I've got the entire Volume 1 manga of that. I bought that the other day. So,
which I
is it colored or black and white?
It's black and white.
Okay, yeah. Then I've got it.
And then there was this neat one, which I'm sure Aaron probably wanted.
Oh, she didn't see that. I don't think they had it in our store.
Okay, we've got a couple, so you can have one of the kids.
Maybe they. Listen, my store had a line outside the door.
Holy crap!
Well, they had an artist there. I think he was a Deadpool artist. I forget his name.
Oh, okay.
Signing stuff. Then they had the free comic book section. And then they had like a Spider-Man and a Silk there in cosplay, taking pictures with people. And Laylee got her picture done with a Spider-Man. Wait for them to post it because it was done on their tablet.
Oh, okay.
It's Comics Connection, the comic store I went to. That I've always enjoyed going to them. I wish I had more money to go more often.
Well, I went to a couple of ours. We've got a Second and Charles out by us that was participating. Our local shop, Neverland Games, had some. And there's another one out in Shepherdstown. I can never remember the name, but they are serious. One of these days when you come out by me, we'll have to go out there because it's a good, a decent comic book shop. Like most of it is comics, and it has a small gaming section where a couple of my other shops are big game sections and just a little comic section. So
I couldn't. There's other places I could have went. I always go to these guys first, but I know I just couldn't afford it because I would have to buy something to each one.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's the big thing about Free Comic Book Day is to get you out there to spend some money in the local shops too, and show your support for their efforts. The next one, Rick and Morty.
I meant to grab that one, but I did not.
We've got a couple copies. We can steal one from the kid. And I had to grab this one because I really like this idea, but it's Star Trek The Next Generation, The Mirror Broken.
Oh, yeah, the evil ones?
Yeah, the evil Picard and all that. So they did that, and it's neat. It's got a couple of drawing sections where they show Data in just his uniform, and then an action shot, and
showing off the biceps.
Yeah. All his Borg tech that he's got on. Yeah, it's real neat. It's a neat book. And like I said, yeah, it's a neat little collection. The kid's got a couple other ones like the DC superhero girls or whatever it is. A Wonder Woman comic. There was a was it Secret Empire? Was Marvel one of the Marvel covers?
Yeah, that's the event that's going on right now, which I'm so sick of events with Marvel. So sick of them.
Yeah, well, they like to do that and shake up the universe again. Because it needs to be changed again. We can't just continue on and do more stories.
Yeah, it just jumps from event to event, so there's no time to let the dust settle and realize what happened.
Right.
Fortunately, it's just like they're like, okay, you can't think about it. We're moving so fast on stuff. Don't stop and think about it.
And
so it's like,
yeah. And the last thing that we did on the Free Comic Book Day is I actually got the wife to sit down. I finally convinced her. I said, forget about Ben Affleck. That movie was crap, garbage shit. Let's sit down and watch Daredevil. So she sat down and watched Daredevil. And she said in the 35 seconds of Wilson Fisk smashing someone's head into a car door, dude put his eye through a spike on a fence after being tortured by Daredevil. Those had more action than Ben Affleck chasing a $5 bill he dropped. She was absolutely terrified of watching the show because that movie was so terrible. I was like, the show is nothing like the movie. The show is amazing compared to the movie. And man, getting back into that, it's God, I love that show. It was so good.
It is a good show. Oh my goodness, it's good. Well, I'm glad. Did she enjoy the show?
Yes, she's actually enjoying it. I see potential to finish that. She doesn't want to watch Jessica Jones, but I'm pretty sure I can get her to watch season 2 of Daredevil as well.
Why doesn't she want to watch Jessica Jones?
I don't know. I'm not sure why.
He's got a really good villain. Purple Man's really good. I mean, he's dark,
and
but
she's watched that one detective show he's on, Broadchurch, I think it is. It's a British show where he plays the over the edge and back again drunk partner of one of the famous female.
She doesn't like
leads. No, she likes him. She likes the part that he played in that. I think she just doesn't like Doctor Who because Doctor Who's trash. Yeah, Jessica Jones. Every time I can get that in there, I'll get that in there.
Well, it's funny. So I mean, if you know what you're thinking, because it's going to be a funny segue.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
This is one of the free comic books I got.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Oh wait, I lied to you. I did get the Rick and Morty one. I don't even remember what I got. So we only picked up 3, as opposed to doing 3 per. Because Aaron was like, I don't know what to get. I'm like, just look at something, see if you might like it, and then pick it.
Yeah.
So we just got 3.
The kid's got a Simpsons one as well called Bongo or whatever, or Boingo or whatever. And the backside,
Bongo Comics or something. Whatever.
Yeah, and then the backside of it was a picture of Futurama. And I was looking last night. We were watching Daredevil, and I noticed off to the right of the TV was the backside of that comic, and it's got a big full page picture of Futurama on the back. And I was like, what is that? And I go over there and look. I was like, oh, it's that freaking Bongo comic. I was like, okay. Kay was like, yeah, the kids were watching Futurama and they put that up there. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I can't. I wish I could say the same. Jessica Jones was I had a hard time getting through it at first. When I finished it, I thought it was awesome, but I still don't think it was as good as Daredevil.
Daredevil just set the bar really high. Now, if you'd watched Jessica Jones first, Jessica Jones would be good. It's not as good as Daredevil was.
I still have like 7 or 6 episodes of Luke Cage to finish, and I've only watched the first episode of Iron Fist. So
I enjoy Luke Cage. It's still not as good as Daredevil was.
Yeah.
I love Iron Fist, even though the fight scenes a lot of times wasn't that good, and they messed up I've already said my piece about that. I really enjoyed Iron Fist, and it's just not as good.
Right.
Daredevil.
Right.
Daredevil just, I don't know what they did, but that was like the best. And it's not even that, oh, well, you saw season 1 first, so that's not fair, because that would put the thought in your head. No, because you go to season 2, it's even better. The only thing that's missing from season 2, and it's not really, is Kingpin.
Yeah.
But they put Punisher in there, and you're like...
Yeah. And oh god, I can't wait till the end of this year. I can't wait for that first season of Punisher. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, that's going to be insane.
All Punisher all the time. One of the other things my wife didn't like about Daredevil, one of the only things that she didn't like was, I never noticed it, but freaking, and I could have sworn just looking at it, it looked like she had part of her hair brushed back flat, but Kay says that the side of Rosario Dawson's head is shaved on the left side. So the left side of her head is shaved. She's like, it looks stupid. I was like,
listen,
it's Rosario Dawson.
It's Rosario Dawson. Yeah, she's gorgeous no matter what she does with her hair. She could get the Super Saiyan hairstyle, and I'd still be like, please let me take you out for some ice cream.
Right?
I know I'm married with a child and a puppy dog, but
just ice cream.
I would still totally do it.
It's harmless ice cream. All right.
It's harmless ice cream.
All right.
I've got to get my stuff on.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so I did my comics. So I've got Ninja Turtles, Rick and Morty, and Doctor Who. Also, I got this Funko, since we're talking about Funkos.
Which one?
Did you see it?
Yeah, there you go.
See it?
Nice.
I know. With he's got the glowy hands.
One of the things I saw at Second and Charles too, they had the new Spider-Man series out, and Vulture looks awesome.
The Homecoming series?
Yeah, the Homecoming series.
I've actually pre-ordered the Tony Stark in his casual outfit and the homemade Spider-Man costume one.
Nice.
So what else we got? And so then I decided to buy some comics. So I bought aside from obviously the first Old Man Logan, I bought the entire collection of Old Man Logan.
Nice.
Which I already had the original, but they're saying that this is just as good. I haven't read it yet. And I bought Carnage, because that's supposed to be a really good series. And I grabbed Volume 2 by mistake as opposed to Volume 1. So that means I got to order that.
Aw, that's too bad.
We had fun for Free Comic Book Day. I wish if I could win the lottery, then I would go to every comic book shop around here, even like the non-comic book shops that still participate.
Right.
But alas, I have no impulse control, and I want to buy everything. I had to keep myself from buying the Batmobile up there. They had the animated Batmobile.
Oh, the animated series?
Yeah, with like I think they had a Batman and Robin, and then they had like the Bat Signal.
Oh, okay.
All right. That's all I got for Free Comic Book Day, but I did read another comic that I ordered.
Okay.
If I can.
Yeah, go for it.
It's Rohan at the Louvre. If you don't know who Rohan is, he's from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh my god. 4. All right, moving on.
No, but it's so good. It's first, I think the art is great, but there we go. We got art. We got good art. And although a lot of the JoJo stories are horror stories, this one's like especially so. So what happens is he ends up meeting this girl 10 years before the story takes place and gets obsessed with her. And she is obsessed with his painting, so he ends up getting obsessed with it. And he finds out about it 10 years later. It like pops back in his head. And so he travels to the Louvre. He hunts it down at the Louvre and goes and sees it. And then bad stuff happens because it's like an evil painting. But the thing about it is Rohan, in JoJo Part 3 is when the stands pop up. Well, you don't, because you won't watch the great anime or read the great manga. But he's got a power called Heaven's Door, where he can draw an image in the air and open you up like a book. And he can read every thought you've ever had, every personality trait you have, and he can also alter it as he feels like. He can put in there that you know how to speak Italian now, that you can't physically hurt him, and he can even do it on himself. So he's got a really OP power. Again, you can just look at one of his drawings on a page, or he can make the scribbles in the air, and he can affect anybody that can see it. So having him in dire straits like this book did is pretty good, and they do it in a way where it doesn't make him inept. Unfortunately, it's really short. It's really short. Look, I don't even know how many pages it is. I finished it in like 15 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
I read fast for one thing. But I finished that in just a few minutes.
Nice.
It's nice, totally good. Nice. I can't wait. Hopefully that one gets adapted to an OVA. I'd love to see it animated. And hopefully they release the second one. There's a different one of him going and doing some other supernatural misadventures, I guess you could say, as opposed to what happens in the show, which they have a ghost trapped in a photograph, and they have a back alley that if you look the wrong way, you'll go to hell. So he's not unfamiliar with supernatural events.
Right.
So that's all I got for reviews right now. If we want to move on and listen to some of our other insane tangents.
Yeah, why don't we do that? The first thing we've got is... sorry, I'm editing a few pictures I said I wasn't going to pull. Because I'm obsessed with pictures. Alright, the first thing we've got is the Defenders trailer drop this week. That's what you put in first, right? Yeah,
yes,
there you go.
I think so. I hope so.
So I noticed something, and I want to make this observation before you even say anything. Did you notice how they paired off the heroes?
Yes.
Did you notice that they paired off the otherwise non-law-abiding Jessica Jones along with the law-abiding Daredevil? And
law-abiding insofar as he's still a vigilante that goes and beats people up.
Well, but he beats people up, but he also leaves them for the cops. And she does bring people to justice, but Jessica Jones is also kind of rough around the edges. And then you look at Power Man and Iron Fist being put up against each other, which, as foretold by you, they're buddies. So it kind of makes sense that they did that.
Yes, it's very fitting. Yes, and I did like that too, that you get to see two of them in a non-antagonistic role together, where one's trying to help the other.
Right.
And then you get to see the other one, which the only two, well, I guess Jessica Jones is pro, but you get to see the two heavy bruisers of the team going against each other. And from a comic perspective, I know these guys are going to be BFFs, so it's funny to see them fight each other at first.
Right.
And I love that he tries his fancy martial arts stuff on him, and he gets slapped down for his troubles.
Yeah.
And then he decides to go with the glowy and wrecks his world.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It looks like it's going to spin up to be a really good show. The disappointing thing is, like I said, it's not going to be like a 12 or 14 episodes. It's going to sit like 6 or 8 episodes, I think. But I think that's all right for the team-ups kind of thing. The shorter the better, so it doesn't drag on. It shouldn't drag on, because you should actually hit the conflict by the end of the first episode.
Well, yeah. Well, see, that was the problem with Iron Fist. It kind of just drug on. All these, boring plots kept happening. The business stuff was boring.
Yeah,
very see Iron Fist doing his Iron Fist thing. Yes, the company intrigue stuff was neat for a while, but then they kept just, circling that drain. First of all, if you guys apparently don't know anything about the basics of how a business is built when you're writing this stuff, so you might want to shy away from that. With Daredevil, they did it right, where he's a lawyer, but they didn't have him constantly sitting in the courtroom or reading through documents. I mean, they did it on the side, but more like montages and for character development. But it wasn't like an hour and a half of him sitting there going through documents and like, oh, there was that case in 1865. Go pull that, Foggy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It showed him going out, beating people up. It showed Kingpin being Kingpin. That kind of stuff.
Yep.
Jessica Jones, fortunately, she's a private detective, so she can really do whatever she wants. Stick is in it, which we've discussed that before, that Stick's in there, but it's always nice to hear that guy's narration.
And
he's so great.
He seems to be pulling the band together, so to speak.
Well, either that or he's taking advantage of them.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is well, you know, band managers, they do that.
No, that's true.
I wasn't going to say that it wasn't self-serving. I was just saying that, yeah, he's pulling them together, obviously for a means to an end, but what that end is, obviously, we don't fully know yet. Obviously, we'll probably see an awesome, badass fight scene between the Avengers and Elektra at a certain point.
You mean the Defenders?
That's why Defenders. Didn't I say Defenders?
Yeah, you said Avengers.
Yeah, the Defenders. You know what I meant.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
We get a hallway scene, which seems like to be the thing now. It's absolutely cemented. They put the hallway scene in the trailer. It's a thing now. One thing I want to point out, it looks like the guy that plays Iron Fist has gotten some time off to go take martial arts lessons because his fight scene movement looks so much better than they did in the season 1.
Yeah, and that was a big thing too. I mean, he was, I guess, otherwise occupied that he could only spend 15 minutes before scenes, which is kind of garbage. But
yeah, he'd learned most of the coordination of it
right before. Yeah,
but that's why you got to put him in the costume. So then you can say, okay, we're just throwing in our martial arts expert.
Yeah.
And let him do all the cool stuff.
Exactly.
And then you get to do the boring dialogue scenes, but you do get to kiss girls. So
exactly. And I think it's going to be a really good series. I don't know what else to say. Honestly, it just blew me away. I can't wait. It's another one of those things. We've got that. We've got when does that come out? That comes out August, right?
I think so.
I think it's August.
I didn't stop to check because we were watching these trailers like 5 minutes before he came on the podcast.
I watched it earlier this week. Miniseries.
Well, we had
August
refreshers.
August 18th. And then The Punisher will be sometime, I think, October or something like that. So we won't have to wait too long in between those series. But, yeah. And once again, I try to make it about The Punisher. But unfortunately, he won't be showing up in the Defenders as far as we know.
But he was just so good, though.
Yeah.
That guy just played the Punisher so well. So I can understand why you keep circling back to him. I'm not going to complain about it because he did very well. And the Punisher's kind of hard to pull off without seeming stupid and cheesy. And he actually gave him some emotional depth. And the thing is, I really enjoyed Thomas Jane's Punisher.
I think for lack of name, it's John Bernthal, but Shane and his big dumb ears. I think that they portrayed the PTSD better with John Bernthal than they did with Thomas Jane.
Well, they didn't do PTSD.
I know they didn't. That's my point, and that's kind of been the thing with the Punisher, especially in as of late in the comics too.
Well, that's because that's the new thing, you know. The society's actually waking up and be like, oh, well, hey, who would have thought war is a horrible thing for people to experience? Yeah. And it really warps people's minds.
Right.
And he specifically went out of his way. He said, don't use PTSD as a excuse. He's like, there's other people suffering from it. I'm not suffering from it. He tried to, even though he has the brain damage like they showed in the x-rays and stuff.
Right.
And with Punisher being originally from the Vietnam era, it should be even more compounded in a way, if that makes sense, because that was, I mean, you know, it was called shell shock and everything before, but that was the era. I don't know the whole history behind it that well, but that was the era where it like really took hold, where, you know, you're seeing just people that for some reason or other they can't adjust to life. Well, there's a lot of reasons.
Back in the world,
yeah. Once they get back into the real world and the way they were mistreated coming home, yeah, that's a whole thing that would be its own discussion. But yeah, it's just it's the big thing right now. So,
do you like my foreshadowing T-shirt?
I do like your foreshadowing T-shirt.
So let's go ahead and foreshadowing. Let's go ahead and hit this next article, which this is all about. This is why I wore this one, by the way. All right, so Mjolnir has been lifted again. I mean,
okay, so
and not
this
by
is more
Thor.
of a tangent because I haven't read all of the Secret Empire crap. Yeah, so either Marvel's writers are just pulling fanfics from the web, and they're more unprofessional than we imagined, and this other excuse kind of ties into it, or they think they're smarter than they are, and they're not so cleverly hinting that, spoiler alert, Steve Rogers might not be a bad guy after all. Despite the months and months of saying, oh no, he's been evil all the time, he's been an undercover agent all this time, he's been retconned, he's been brainwashed, all this stuff, and it's just, it's so poorly done.
He's a triple-double agent.
Somehow Femthor drops a hammer, and then he picks it up, and then all of a sudden, like, this happens. Which, he's picked up the hammer before in the past, but that's because he represented, like, the pure of heart warrior's code.
Right.
I don't think... Listen, if Mjolnir can make Thor not worthy because somebody says that Thor might have a little bit of an ego because he was literally born to be a god, and despite the years of canon where he's like, no, please do not worship me, okay?
Right. Then
Steve Rogers, even if he's just pretending, even if it's not his true self, doesn't deserve to pick up the hammer. Okay? It's just this. They keep changing the goalposts, and they want it to be like Marvel wants it to be their cake and eat it too. Have their cake and eat it too.
Right.
They want you, a lifelong fan, to accept these poorly written, half-assed characters, but then say, "Oh well, no, we're going to change it." Be like, well, why should I get emotionally attached to this version of Steve Rogers when he's going to change in 3 issues and he's going to be a good guy again for some reason?
Right.
When the movies are starting to come out again. So it's just frustrating as a fan for that to happen. So I can't wrap my head around the poorly thought out concept about what did he talk to Mjolnir in private? Hey, maybe that's a fake hammer. Now that would be clever. That would be kind of clever. That remember the half cybernetic, half clone of Thor Ragnarok had like a cybernetic hammer or some crap like that.
Right.
So that would be clever. So yeah. So having a little bit of an ego, you're still cool to wear. If you have a little bit of an ego, can't use the hammer. But if you're a Nazi, the hammer's cool with you. By the way, it seems like they're blurring the movie canon with the comic canon. Sorry, I've gone too much into a tangent here.
No, it's fine.
But in the original comics, if I'm not mistaken, Odin cast Thor out and then hid the hammer and turned it into a stick for the merged Donald Blake and Thor to find it. And so when he'd hit his walking stick on the ground, that's when he would turn into Thor because it would turn back into the hammer. Then he'd hit it back on the ground and transform back into Donald Blake. So it's not that the hammer considered Thor unworthy then. It's just... And I'm pretty sure that the writers think they're being clever when most, even children who might be reading this, could see this coming from a mile away. And I think they think subtlety is German for sledgehammer or something, because this writing is not subtle. It's not clever, it's not subtle, it's not nothing.
Great.
And I really wish they had some comic book characters besides like Deadpool or whoever actually calling this kind of crap out. Be like, really, we're going to believe Captain America's going to stay evil?
Right.
And yes, it's like a sentient cosmic cube, but they know so many deities on speed dial right now. They could reverse this with the snap of their fingers. A full-powered Doctor Strange probably could.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's my that's more of an opinion than news, aside from that he did pick up the hammer. Also, that's not the scene from it.
That's not.
I don't think so.
That was from an article from the April 30th, so I figured that was the right one.
Yeah, it's a different one. Now, I will say the art style in this latest comic is pretty decent. It's like stylized. It's a little more stylized. It looks like. So
look at the giant Nazi flying robot in the background. I thought that was cool too. So
that is, yeah.
Well, that's fine. It gets the point across. There's Cap holding the hammer. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the news where we talk to you more about Marvel. I can't play that every time because, we got to share the love. All right, the Runaways image and logo have been revealed, and I actually pulled the logo because I thought it looked neat. But let me pull that back up there. There we go. I like the stylization and the generic look of all the Marvel titles lately. But they make them look different every time, and this one's no different. It's got the little arrows flying off in all directions, which I would assume has something to do with the Runaways.
Yeah, it's like they're scattering, they're running away, exactly. All that stuff. Also, arrows have been associated with the Avengers as well, which kind of ties into their canon a little bit. So, the Runaways, if you don't know, is about a group of superpowered teenagers in one form or another who found out that all their parents are evil.
Oh, no.
And so they run away from them to fight them. There's people... and here's my thing. This is supposed to be live action, right?
Right.
There's one character that has a genetically created velociraptor.
Excellent.
That only listens to him. They call it Old Lace. I wonder if how often that character is going to appear in the show when they have to worry about a budget. See, this feels like a Runaways, even though I kind of have hopes for it. And, with CGI these days, it's amazing what they can do, blah, blah, blah. This feels like it could have been like a PG-13 cartoon series. Not like a goofy little kid series, but one that older audiences, teens and adults could enjoy.
Right.
Because bad things happen to the Runaways. This just goes to show you, even if your parents are evil, kids, don't run away. Because you're not going to have a magic staff of one or superhuman strength like a 10-year-old or...
You said live action, right?
Genetically engineered velociraptor that listens to your commands.
You said live action, right? Didn't we talk about this before? I think it's
we've talked about it a couple times.
I think it's going to be on the...
but actually, I saw somebody discussing it, and I made me think of that when we started talking about Runaways. I said, oh yeah, how are they going to do that? Because with Ghost Rider, it blew the budget for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for an entire season.
Right.
So having a Velociraptor show up...
It's going to be on Hulu. They can do what they want.
Yeah, they can. Maybe they are giving it the Netflix budget.
Well, not only that, but, I mean, you said a lot of dark things happen.
Yeah, which, again, that would totally allow it.
Yeah, it's going to be 10 episodes on Hulu, 2018. I was trying to see if they said anything about rating. I'm sure we won't hear about it till it gets closer to it. It'll probably be PG-13. I'm sure they could probably get away with it on Hulu. Yeah. So, ABC. I'm just wondering
how loyal they are going to be to the comic. I would love for it to be comic accurate. One, because they haven't been portrayed animated wise yet. So I want it to be really comic book accurate. And so that's really all I got for that.
I'm trying to look through this really quick to see if they say anything about it. Casting Renzi Feliz as Alex Wilder, Lyrica Okano as Niku Minoru, Virginia Gardner as Carolina Dean, Ariel Bar. It's a bunch of nobodies, young actors, obviously.
Well, they have to.
Shortly after announced.
First of all,
It says shortly after Marvel announced the casting of The Pride with Ryan Sands as Jeffrey Wilder, Angela Parker as Catherine Wilder, and a bunch of nobodies for their parents. Okay. Interesting. I was just trying to see if filming on the pilot began on February 10th, 2017 in Los Angeles under the working title Rugrats and concluded on March 3rd. Great. Good code name. Yeah, it doesn't look like they say anything about what it's going to be rated or anything. Or yeah, I guess we'll have to wait till it gets closer for that. But that's fine. Alright, let's hit the next one. The Inhumans poster and trailer were released. And the trailer was more of a teaser. I guess we should have put teaser instead of trailer. And it was just all it was the logo and the voiceovers going and what you assume as who's the bad guy? What's the name?
Well, it depends on your perspective.
Yeah,
but yes, it's Black Bolt's brother. It starts with an M. I've completely wiped. I've been up for like 20 hours, people, so my brain's not reacting as fast as it needs to. It's the guy that played Ramsey.
It's Maximus. Yeah, I want Rayhan. Yeah. Maximus the Mad. So there's a voiceover between Maximus and female, presumably Medusa, I would assume, right?
I would assume too.
Talking about Medusa basically saying, "Are you really going to overthrow your brother?" And he says something along the lines of, "Do you wish that all of the Inhumans remain silent like my brother?" Which is hinting at the what is it? The self-silencing of Black Bolt, because if he talks, he kills everything.
Yeah. So I think it's been stated after the poster came out that he will be using some kind of special form of sign language, if not outright telepathy, which would be lazy.
Right.
But the sign language would be cool, and obviously having his wife interpret stuff would be cool as well. Did you not have the cast photo? Did you not pull that one?
I didn't pull the cast photo. I can pull it up really.
Well, so you've probably seen this, and aside from Maximus, pretty much everybody looks terrible. It looks like Black Bolt. They went and got the X-Men movie 1 costumes. And like, put some duct tape on it into the Inhuman symbol, and you're good to go. That's his costume. And the guys, again, we've complained about costumes before, like the Daredevil costume, and then we saw it in action. We're like, oh my goodness, it's amazing. But this looks lazy. This looks lazy to me.
I'm working on it.
No, you're good.
Yeah, it looks bad.
And the guy that's playing Black Bolt, his expression there just looks confused. And Medusa, I mean, maybe they tried it. Maybe they've tried it. But her hair's supposed to be like big and wild because that's her power. The straight back thing just, I don't know, she looks plastic and fake. And yes, we know it can work in live action because guess what? Cosplayers do her all the time. And she looks pretty okay. And I really kind of wish that they had done the masks.
Okay, here we go.
And because he doesn't have his head diddly thing. Black Bolt.
What, you mean his
the antenna that channels his energies, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Crap. Sorry, this is taking a little longer than I was expecting.
Oh, you're good. I kind of demanded it of you from last second. My bad.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Again, I think Maximus looks pretty okay because that's more or less how his outfits usually look, is like just whatever he wore the night before with a jacket. They don't show They don't show Lockjaw in it. Lockjaw, right?
Yeah.
Come on, brain, work with me, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't show Lockjaw in it.
The picture's okay, I guess. I mean, I guess for transfer from comics to what's going on with what's her face's hair?
Which one?
The blonde. She's got like
Crystal?
Black streaks through her hair.
It looks like Crystal to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they just showed just a couple of them. I mean, understandably so. I mean, it'll work, I guess. But I kind of like Black Bolt's outfit a little.
I don't.
It kind of looks neat.
He just looks doofy. Look at his face. And here's the thing. He, like, has the bone structure for it. If they just throw that mask on him, he'd look cool. But, like, he just looks confused there. Doesn't he? It's not just me, is it?
Why am I here?
What am I doing here? This isn't where I eat my pancakes.
Yeah.
And it's weird that they get... I don't know. Crystal has red hair a lot. Maybe blondish red? I don't know. I guess it really depends on the colorist.
His mask is pretty neat with his football goal antenna.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that to his face and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd let me know. All right.
But this first poster is not that good to me.
Yeah. It will be in IMAX September 1st, and then we'll see it on TV, on the TV series on TV September 26th of this year. So, that's all we'll probably get for the cast for now. I'm sure we'll slowly get stuff here and there, but maybe...
They'll probably release, like...
Obviously, they're not going to change the outfits.
Like still shots.
Obviously, they're not going to change the outfits because they're probably halfway through their recording sessions.
Oh, yeah.
So... this is what we got. But all right, that's it for pictures. No more pictures for the rest of the show. Movies. Blade Runner 2049 teaser trailer, and then the trailer, I guess. The first full-length trailer that we got is about a minute and a half long. Were released this week. And I'm excited.
Yeah, they look really good.
We got to see Old Man Deckard and the new lead, Ryan Gosling, is playing, and their first interactions that we actually get to see between the two of them. But one of the things that I have to comment, and I said it while I was watching the trailer right before the show because I didn't know they had released the new trailer. They kept the soundtrack. It sounds exactly like the original Blade Runner soundtrack, which is awesome.
I wonder if that's hinting at something. You know, Blade Runner is kind of infamous for having tons of theories made about it, you know?
Well, the interesting thing, too, is that by the end of the first movie, you kind of figure out that Deckard is also a replicant.
Yeah.
And that's why he's having the weird reactions that he's having throughout the movie, and it all ties together at the end. Spoilers if you didn't know that, but that movie.
Well, anyway, the movie's like 40 years old. People, come on.
Yeah. But the interaction between the two, and then you wonder, because you know that about Harrison Ford's character, about Deckard. What about this new character? Is he human or is he not? And you kind of get the idea that from the way he's acting, I'm kind of already calling that Ryan Gosling is also going to be a replicant who hunts replicants.
That seems like it's too obvious, though.
But he's
everybody
so
already.
Huh? I don't think it's kind of Gosling's attitude, the way he's always acted, anyways. But his lines are kind of deadpan delivered when he's talking to Deckard in that trailer.
Yeah, it just seems like because they did it in the first one, and he's more or less the new protagonist. It seems like it's just too obvious that they would go that route. I think what they're going to do is imply it through the entire film, and then it turns out, oh, he's not a replicant at all.
And he still falls in love with a replicant. No.
You can't help it sometimes.
Yeah, right? Sean Young, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Looks great. Cannot wait. One of my favorite movies of all time. And even the video game was really good. That was based on it. Old game back from the late 90s. But very good game. But yeah, the whole, and the amazing thing is it's based off of one of the most prolific sci-fi writers, who's had plenty of movies made after his writings. So this was written by Philip K. Dick, who wrote the original book, Do Robots Dream of Electric Sheep, or Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. But you've got the Minority Report, which was a short story. The list goes on. I could go on forever. The number of movies that were made off of his writings, and not just sci-fi. Some others here and there. But I cannot wait to see what they do with the new one, and I'll probably watch Blade Runner a couple more times before then. So.
Oh yeah, you'll have to watch it beforehand. And then...
Yeah. It's and the hits keep coming too, because the Dark Tower trailer also released this week, and another great writing by an author that everybody knows for something else. This is more of a that sci-fi post-apocalyptic story. The Dark Tower was written by Stephen King, and there are 7 books. I think it was 7. It's 6 or 7, somewhere in there. So they've got plenty of material to keep going. And the trailer was amazing. They showed the cross between the two worlds, and the whole thing with the Man in Black wanting to destroy the Dark Tower, because when you destroy the Dark Tower, their world and our world merge, and you get that whole gist of that just from the trailer. And
well, see, I don't know because I haven't read the books yet. That's on my to-do list.
You should read the first one before this comes out, or find the book on tape. Apparently,
tape. You're dating yourself.
You know what I mean. The audio book. My bad.
When does this come out?
I forgot to throw that in here, didn't I?
Okay, well, because if it comes out within a month or so, maybe I could grab it. I want to use one of my Audible credits and not buy it.
Yeah. August 4th.
Although if I like it, I will buy the actual physical book, because owning the physical book.
It's August 4th. And Idris Elba as Roland, while it was controversial when we originally reported on it, because he's black and he's playing a character that was written to be very racist, they obviously have done away with that overtone to provide that character, because
he can still be black and be racist.
Let's not go to Dave Chappelle's sketches, all right? But anyway, I know he can still be racist, but I think that they're pulling that theme out of the story regardless. Here's where, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but here's where I get into my tangent, where I'm like, you got to be true to the character. Yeah,
if they're racist in the original story. It sucks, but you're gonna have to make them racist in the movies. Whatever color you make him. If
certain concessions can be made, I guess. Anyways, yeah. Looks great. Idris Elba as Roland looks great in the duster and all that with the revolvers. There's some good action scenes where he's loading his revolvers, he's tossing up the cylinders and catching them with the open revolver and all that. It looks really cool. They did some great work with the action scenes that you get to see. You need to check out the trailer if you haven't seen it. If you haven't read the books, and I've only read the first one, but man, was it a great book. I just have never gotten around to reading the rest of them. But they're supposedly some of the best writing that Stephen King's done outside of any of his horror stuff. And I mean,
especially his recent horror stuff, because some of it's been kind of bad.
Yeah, some of his short story stuff, like Under the Dome, has been made into a TV show, and there's been a bunch of other stuff that's been made into shows. But this needed to be a movie. And really weird how some of those things work. And like I was saying to the wife last night when we were watching Daredevil, I could watch any of these superhero movies that they've made. I could watch 10 hours of those guys. It would be great to see that, especially with the way Daredevil ran. But yeah, some of these things need to just be movies, be a big theater cinematic adventure type thing. So, and yeah, that's all I got on that. Just check out the trailer for sure. It's going to be a great movie, regardless of the origins of the character. So, but all right. The last thing we've got in TVs and stuff like that is Guardians of the Galaxy. The Friday totals was 56 million. They're showing at about 154 million for the weekend, and the reviews are all positive. And if you want, what did you send me?
No, not right now. We gotta be professional.
Yeah,
so yeah,
sorry.
so I don't know. I'm hearing a few mixed things from my friends, but it's more of a, I guess, that Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was lightning in a bottle, or whatever that saying goes to. They're not saying that this isn't bad, but some people are saying it's just not as good as the first one. But nobody expected the first one to be good, is the thing. Oh, here's the official for Guardians of the Galaxy. It worldwide box office estimates for Sunday, May 7th is $286.8 million.
Wow.
That's what they're estimating now for it.
It is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with a critic score of 81%, and obviously the audience score a lot better, 90%.
Let's put this in perspective. The next highest after Guardians of the Galaxy for this weekend is Bali, The Conclusion, and it's at 47.2 million.
Oh, so they smashed this weekend. They'll probably continue for the next week. I know probably at some point next week I'll go see it. I really enjoyed the first one, and from what I'm hearing from people I know, they think it's one of those things where they thought the first one was great, and they thought the second one was better, which is a rarity, especially when you look at movies that come in threes. Which, like we talked about last week, there will be a third. They nailed their casting the first time around, and there's no way that it's going to get worse in the second one or the third one. And there was a special cameo that kind of got ruined by James Gunn's picture, but Perry's saying he thinks it's better than the first one.
Good.
We know Kurt Russell was going to be in it, but there's another cameo from an older actor that I won't spoil. I'll let it happen. Hey Perry, while we're talking, and I know this will take a second, what did you think about all the post-credit scenes? Were they worth it? Are they what I thought, and tying together everything before the end, before everything starts hitting the fan? And we'll go on with the conversation while he responds to that. But I cannot wait to see it. My cousin said his son was crazy about Groot. Said it was an amazing movie, and he would not stop saying "I am Groot." So obviously, it imprinted on the kid, and he's about, I think, 7 or 6, somewhere in there. So, I think what they've done with the series is amazing so far, especially pulling out Guardians of the Galaxy, which is relatively unknown, or not unknown, but to the larger audiences unknown.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea who they were, but you did. So, other than that, I think that's all we got on that.
Well, we're just waiting for Perry. Come on, Perry. Type fast. But one thing that I've heard, this is kind of a rumor, and it doesn't really deal with Guardians of the Galaxy, and it kind of dealing with gaming, it kind of deals with extended universes and franchises, is that the Tomb Raider movie, they're going to try to do a cinematic crossover universe with Just Cause, Hitman, Deus Ex, and Thief. I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody posted that somewhere, and I'm waiting for a citation. If that ends up being a thing, I'm going to tell you about it next week and probably cry some, because none of those sound like they need to go together. Did I say Thief? Thief needs to be its own thing. Deus Ex needs to be a TV show. Just Cause needs to be its own thing. And Tomb Raider needs to be its own thing.
Yeah.
Because, yes, none of those go together. Just Cause is a freaking cartoon. Tomb Raider takes itself seriously. Hitman and Deus Ex are serious. And Thief is almost a satire on the lovable rogue genre.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, not the reboot of Thief. It's like they kind of tried to be Batman with him, but as opposed to the original ones, who was a greedy guy. He's like, I've got to pay rent. I'm good at stealing, so I'm going to steal.
Yeah. Yeah, Perry said they were good, made sense. One was a big foreshadowing, but most of them weren't needed, which means they were, the little in-betweeners of the characters. But he says the last one was the greatest thing he's ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, okay. That's what I thought. So that'll be that last thing we talked about last week. So, if you know what I'm talking about from last week's episode.
I never know what we're talking about.
Stanley.
I know it was a joke.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Let's do the last thing here. We're about to hit the hour mark.
Oh no.
All right. Let's talk about our favorite thing ever, DLC.
Yeah, DLC. So Injustice 2 is about to come out, which is the DC fighting game. And they've already announced what DLC it's going to have. Here's the thing, it doesn't come out until this week, and they announced it last week. So there's more than enough time to make sure to either have put it on the disc already for free, or to have it to be a day one download for free. If you make the DLC before the game has even come out, and I know, but they have to, press the CDs, and then they have to ship them, and blah, blah, blah. So really, they weren't working on it for another couple of months before this. Like in April it probably shipped out.
Right.
No excuse. Don't announce what DLC you're going to have before the game comes out. You wait a couple of weeks and here's some of the DLC characters we're planning on doing. I can accept that lie.
Yeah.
Don't come out. It seems greedy and lazy to me.
Hey, I see that last line there. Did you already read that? Did I miss that?
What? I'm not going to buy this game? Well, first of all, I don't buy many fighting games because I suck at them.
Yeah.
But because it's a comic book game, even though it's DC, I probably would have checked it out because I do own the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's okay. And it had some interesting ideas. Like, you could play through, and each character had their own storyline, which of course they do in most fighting games, but they had like different versions of that. Like, they were more like what if scenarios as opposed to there's like the main plot that no matter what this happens, no matter what character you. Well, no, okay. Let me scratch that. Let me back up. The main one they forced you to play separate different characters. The problem with that concept, which other fighting games have done that, is that the game gets more difficult as you go along.
Right.
But if you keep changing the characters, you're like, okay, well, I've used Batman for 3 fights, so I know how to use him now. Oh, wait, now I'm playing as Flash. How do I use him? Oh, wait, now I'm playing as Green Arrow. How do I use him? And then they have quick time events in there.
Right.
So it was like they had interesting concepts, but I don't know, it just it didn't feel as well executed. But then you had these alternates where you're like, okay, well, I'm going to play through this entire Flash storyline.
Right.
And then Green Arrow and Green Lantern and blah, blah, blah. That was kind of neat. And it it helped unlock other things.
All right.
So that being said, don't do this, game companies. Don't. Especially when it's just a simple fighting game. If it's something like Skyrim or maybe not Fallout 4, but like Fallout New Vegas, where it takes you forever to build everything, then maybe you're like, okay, well, obviously we didn't have time to put this stuff in there, but this is some of the stuff we're planning after the game gets released. We'll have more time to work on it. But a lot of fighting game stuff is just new skins.
Yeah, new skins.
And maybe they'll pull fighting moves from 5 or 6 different characters and throw it in.
Right. Sorry, man.
It's just frustrating. Nobody else. Do you not get frustrated with this?
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm starting to find out that I think the DLCs for Ghost Recon have been pretty worthless. We got those first few missions that were, if you played in the beta, you could get this missions, and it happened to be one of the provinces had a couple extra missions in it, and that was it. But then the first big DLC they put out apparently turned the game into a Grand Theft Auto type game, and a lot of people were pissed because Ghost Recon's a highly tactical game. Why you making it like Grand Theft Auto. So hopefully the next few they correct their course, which it's Ubisoft, so they probably won't.
How many times do they have to put out like the same game but a different version of it before they figure out? It's like they want to put all this. They're like, oh, well, kids like tactical stuff. Kids like Grand Theft Auto. Kids like World of Warcraft. So we're going to have pandas that beat up hookers, but they're also part of the special forces, and they use magic. Like, so, come on, you got to pick a genre and stick with it. Yes, you can innovate within that genre, but don't just throw random stuff at the wall.
Perfect example.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, perfect example would be Destiny. If Destiny 2's DLC is stupid, like this last one was, where it just, like, added, like, an extra area here and there, and you just went through the same other areas to get to those levels. Some of them weren't worth it. Some of them were okay. But actually add to the game. Don't reuse an area because it's convenient to say, oh, well, you got to go to this place to do this one other thing. Or you need to go back to these areas that you've been patrolling for months and months and go do more stuff there. And it's like, because then it starts cutting into, because when they started doing that, it started cutting into the content that was already there. So you had less time for regular events to spawn, and these other events were mixed in, and you had to wait for those, and the ones you really wanted were those, which they could have been put in their own zones, so they could be done there, and then you could go back to the other zones and still do the stuff that was already there if you wanted to do that. So, don't be lazy with your DLC. If you're going to charge us extra money, put some effort into it. So,
right, and if it's just not a fun game, then, like, Breath of the Wild, I'm probably going to buy most, if not all of its DLC.
You just want that.
I'm loving Breath of the Wild.
You just want that Tingle outfit. That's what you want. You want it. You want Tingle.
I can neither confirm nor deny that. I was going to say that if it turns out to be nothing but different skins or different costumes, then I won't. But if I need extra missions, I need more meat. I've already got the Dark Link outfit. That's the one I wanted.
How come you didn't tell me that you can like color the armor too? I finally got my first armor set, and I colored it, and I was like, "Oh, this looks awesome! I don't have to be all in the green tunic all the time."
First of all, you just got to that area.
Well, I mean, you know, I have other games I play, man.
Oh, you know you could buy a house in that game, right?
What is this, Fable?
Yes, and you get to put it together, like you get to build it up, and you can put weaponry in there and stuff. Maybe here's the other thing that I had to look up because I didn't go to this area. You can build a town.
What?
In Breath of the Wild. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
You have to bring them like the supplies, and you have to go get you gotta go get shopkeepers and stuff.
Oh, that's.
And you get to build this town up.
Is it like you grab up the wandering merchants or something like that, or
not wandering merchants, but you have to look for these specific people.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think that wraps up what we've got for this week, right?
Close enough.
Close enough, yeah.
We'll round it up.
We'll have more next week, but that's all we got for you this week. Thank you for listening, and thanks to those of you who joined us on the stream. Perry, my mother-in-law, Adam, good to see you again. Please leave us feedback on our episodes on iTunes, Google Play Music, and anywhere else you can get our podcast from, as it will help with visibility so others may discover us. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, where we're currently talking to you. If you're watching. You can
contact us at ECG_podcast on Twitter. I hope you were done talking because I was running into this thing.
You're good.
And our Facebook page. What's up?
You're good.
Yep. www.facebook.com/ECGpodcast or our email address at ecgpodcast@gmail.com. Also, visit us at our webpage, www.stasisgeek.com. That's STASISGEEK.com. Or like Jeremy said, post a comment and we will maybe read it probably.
We'll even read it on the air.
We will read it on there. We like talking to you guys in the chat.
Send us emails.
There's like a delay.
If you got there's a big delay when we ask questions back and forth. Send us comments and emails or whatever. Or hit us up on Twitter or something, and we'll bring it up. If you got a correction, something we said wrong, let us know. We'll correct it. We got no problems.
It's things that Jeremy says wrong.
Right? Yeah, it's things that I say wrong because I don't know what comics are. All right, we'll talk to you next week. Until then, stay geeky.